So there it is. Xabi Alonso sacked by Real Madrid. The news came this morning. We saw the here we go. After that defeat against Barcelona in the Clasico for the Super Cup. And yeah, I just wanted to react on that one and to also understand what it means also for Arne Slot, because yeah, I think Arne Slot, the pressure is mounting. Liverpool just won against Burnley in the FA Cup 4-1, but again the scoreline is doesn't tell the truth. The scoreline is so threatening for Liverpool because again we've seen the same problems that I have discussed again on this channel. Yeah, let's try to understand what it means. But first, I want to talk about this situation that's happening at Real Madrid. And yeah, let me know, guys, if you also want like a video more deep down, because this video will be just to analyze the surface level, but I can do a video where I go a bit in details, because I've discussed about this situation with many friends who are fan of Real Madrid, and I saw it coming. But I genuinely thought that they would give him at least a full season, because bringing in a coach like Xabi Alonso, he's shown that if you let him work, he can bring results. I don't forget the work he's done at Leverkusen. I think when he joined Leverkusen, they were like 15th, 14th in the league, almost near the relegation zone, and he brought them in the first, I think in the first season. He brought them back in, I think it was Europa League, if I'm not wrong, Europa League, or was it in Champions League straight? And then the other season, it's history because he's finished the season unbeaten. And he had really a clear way of playing. The players were developing. Look what he's done with players like Frimpong, players like Florian Wirtz, even how he worked with strikers like Victor Boniface, Patrick Schick. A lot of players he's developed in that Bayer Leverkusen side. He was clearly the next big manager, the next really young managers upcoming, and Real Madrid took a bet. At that time, I didn't understand it because the route that Florentino Perez has chosen, going with a manager like Xabi Alonso, it was always gonna end bad. And I want to point this out. First of all, the responsible for all what's happening at Real Madrid, the catastrophic position they are in, it's all on Florentino Perez. I saw all the people blaming Kylian Mbappe. Oh, it's Vinicius. Oh, it was Carlo Ancelotti. And then Xabi Alonso came. People said, oh, it's Xabi Alonso. No, the only responsible for this is Florentino Perez, because if you've chosen to build your squad like that, why do you bring in a guy who only has a Leverkusen only on his CV? Yes, he's a Real Madrid legend, but are the big egos in the squad gonna listen to Xabi Alonso? If it didn't work out with a manager of the pedigree as Carlo Ancelotti, what made you think that Xabi Alonso will make this work, And really, that route that Florentino Perez took, I never understood it, because it all started with, okay, Cruz left. Who has replaced Cruz in that squad? Can't see a Cruz replacement in that squad, Luka Modric left. There is no replacement for Luka Modric. I think at Real Madrid they underestimated the importance of those midfielders, and we're talking maybe about, for me, I think they are the best midfielders of my generation, the best midfielder I've ever seen, and they never replaced them. That's the first mistake. And then you had an attack that was working already. What was the plan of adding in Kylian Mbappe? You had the best player in his position in Vinicius. Vinicius is not a player that I really like because of his attitude outside the football, but I can say that the truth is that he's good at football. He was the best winger at that moment. He was even ranked higher in the Ballon d'Or than Kylian Mbappe. What's the point of going for Kylian Mbappe? Kylian Mbappe, who at that moment was playing on the left wing, who's a left wing. I'm still convinced Kylian Mbappe is not a striker. So you went for a left winger, then it unbalanced the team. Carlo Ancelotti tried to find a schema to make them play around. Okay, Kylian Mbappe will play as a number 9. Okay, but you give him a higher salary than your best player, Vinicius, who could have been also a Ballon d'Or, by the way. You give him a higher salary, and we all know that the problems that are around Kylian Mbappe at PSG. I don't wanna go much in details. You all know it what happened at PSG. Thomas Tuchel came, he left. A big player Marco Verratti, and a lot of players came in and left, because when you have a player like Kylian Mbappe who takes a lot from the team, then you have to make a sort of how can I say, sacrifices in other areas. So that's the first move I didn't understand. You lose, yes, you lose a striker, but why don't you bring in a striker? And that's on Florentino Perez, because of course Florentino Perez, we know his dream was Kylian Mbappe, to bring in Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe wasn't a necessity, but he was again the great toy to bring in by Florentino Perez. So that was the first mistake, because now they can say all what they want on Instagram. Yeah, Vinicius likes Mbappe, or they're best friends, or they play Call of Duty together. But we all know that it has caused major problems. There is major ego problem. You can see it has affected Vinicius Junior, because he's not been the player he was, even if against again in the Clasico he was their best player, and again he was always the best player when Kylian Mbappe is not on the pitch. Is it, it says a lot. It also caused the problem via Rodrigo also, who's clearly a player that I don't understand what he's still doing at Real Madrid. He doesn't respect him, and it will eventually cause problem with Jude Bellingham also, because if they all see Kylian Mbappe on that salary, Kylian Mbappe coming in and getting that superstar role, Vinicius Junior wants it, Jude Bellingham will want it, Rodrigo will want it. So really, Real Madrid, I think it's uncoachable. I don't think there is a coach in this world that will solve the issues at Real Madrid. And when I see that their solution to sack Xabi Alonso has been to appoint Arbeloa, even if he's an interim coach, I don't think it's looking good for Real Madrid. I don't think it's looking good, because which coach in the world will find solution, because there is the only solution, I've said it on this channel, I've done a video before the summer, unfortunately, it's to sell one of the names in front, if even maybe two, if you want to be okay. Because look at Endrick, for example. Endrick, we all know his talent, we know he's a talented guy, but look, he didn't get any minutes. It's not because he's not good enough, it's because you can't give him game time. You can't give him game time. Look at Gonzalo Garcia. I'm sure Gonzalo Garcia, he'll have to leave Real Madrid. I've heard rumors of linking him to Bayer Leverkusen. There's also rumors of linking him to the Premier League. That's the only solution. And I've heard, Real Madrid are looking to bring in maybe Jurgen Klopp. I've heard actually a funny one, Enzo Maresca. I'm a big fan of Enzo Maresca. I've done a video on this channel. What will Enzo Maresca tell Vinicius? What will Enzo Maresca bring in that will be different to Xabi Alonso? I don't get it. I think really Florentino Perez has sabotaged everything he has built in the recent years, and I don't find any convenable issue to this Real Madrid situation. But if they really let Vinicius either leave after his contract expired, or as they want to extend his contract, maybe sell him. I don't see how it will work. So you decided that Xabi Alonso. For me, I still think maybe that was a good choice to sack Alonso, because I think he's not even sacked. I think he left by himself after seeing he has no authority. Because what was the point? The players weren't gonna listen to him, so he wasn't even working. And when I see that, also that's one of the things I hate in this modern football. When I see that players were being backed by the club over Alonso, that's something I can't really tolerate in this modern football. We have to understand that coaches are called boss for a reason. The coaches should be higher than the players. But in this football, especially at Madrid, Vinicius is not happy, so we give right to Vinicius to complain. Bellingham is not, so Bellingham is right. So Alonso should have left even earlier, because he was never given that power as a manager to control his squad. But honestly, also Alonso has also a bit of responsibility in this, because again, I've not seen anything that he's tried to do that he was doing at Leverkusen don't see any style of play he did really. Carlo Ancelotti, they was really Sam Ancelotti with maybe a little bit of tweaks, but you know, when I see, for example, because I rewatched the game against Barcelona, the Clasico, when I see like the lineup, honestly, I think he also wanted to get sacked. What's that lineup? I didn't understand the back five. Tchouaméni coming in as a defender. I didn't really get that lineup. You know, he didn't even try to play football. Honestly, the 3-2 again was a good score for Real Madrid, because it could have been worse, because I not only saw Barcelona trying to do something with the press, but it was the only team that had good intentions with the ball. And then Alonso also didn't help himself with all these catastrophic choices. But genuinely, I think you can't do much with that squad also. So yes, let's say he has a part of responsibility in that in what happened. But honestly, I don't see how else also he could have maybe he could have played with different football, try to do a lot of. But how do you wanna bring in something new when the players don't cooperate, you know? By the way, also Real Madrid are second in La Liga, only 4 points behind I think 4 points behind Barcelona, and they're in the top 8 in the Champions League. So we can say honestly, Xabi Alonso hasn't been that bad at Madrid. He averaged 2.4 points per game. Again, it's not bad, but it's not incredible for Madrid either. And Madrid it's such a like a special context that, you know, that's so difficult. But does that rule him out for the job at Liverpool? Because I've heard fans saying, why would you want Xabi Alonso? He didn't succeed at Madrid. I think, as I said, Madrid is a different context. Now, would he fail like this at Liverpool? The answer is no. Would he do better than Arne Slot currently? Time will tell, but I think he will do better. Because again, I just watched Liverpool. It's the same problems. And Liverpool, I said it. The only way to switch things, it's to change the manager. So why not bringing in the manager that actually was the number one priority after Jurgen Klopp had decided to leave? He was the number one priority of Michael Edwards and FCG. So for me, this is kind of the perfect time for this. Maybe not now, but bring him in the summer. You know, you can't afford to let him go to City, because I think Guardiola probably it's his last dance, or any other club. You have to go for Xabi Alonso again. This is the perfect opportunity. Xabi Alonso has proved you that he can bring in a clear way of play in a good context, and working in Liverpool atmosphere and Real Madrid is different. Yes, both are two big clubs, but at Liverpool, you know, you'll have the time. You know you won't have that much ego in the squad. Also, he has worked with players like Florian Wirtz. You have seen what he has given. He has worked with players like Frimpong. So again, this looks like it could be the perfect reunion. And also, he's a Liverpool legend. Let's not forget that. So he doesn't even need to win the fans. He already has the fans for him. And again, I think Arne Slot's time is up, as I kept saying it on this channel. And I would love to see Alonso considered, because he, as I said, when he was almost gonna leave Barcelona, his best option was always gonna be Liverpool. In Real Madrid, it's a lost cause. It's a lost cause. Real Madrid. Florentino Perez has killed the club, and I don't see how any manager fixes this, apart if they accept to really change the squad, sell one big name up front, buy competent midfielders, buy a player like Vitinha, for example, in midfield, because I've seen rumors, but I don't know how I believe it. But to buy Vitinha, he won't be free, so he would need to pay a lot of money. Is Florentino Perez fan of that idea? Because their recent motto is to just sign free players. By the way, also I know it's a bit odd to say, but I wanna also return to that Clasico, that game I watched, Bellingham. I don't think I've ever watched a worse version than this Bellingham, and it's the worst time to play like this because the World Cup is in 5 months. 5 months, the World Cup is there. You know, if he's playing on this level, I don't think he'll be on the plane. That's my take. It's maybe a crazy prediction, but I don't think he'll be with this England squad with that level he's showing on the pitch because Morgan Rogers is clear. There is no way Thomas Tuchel benches Morgan Rogers with the level he has, the form he has. Morgan Rogers will start. But what would be the point to bring Bellingham if you won't even start? You know, for the squad management. And there is also other number 10. Cole Palmer can still wake up. You've got players like Elliot Anderson who will start as number 8. I don't see Bellingham playing as a number 8. Phil Foden is also back. Oh, I'm really scared for Jude Bellingham. I think he might miss on the World Cup if he continue playing like that, you know. So guys, this was just a little update. I wanted to talk about that Real Madrid situation. Let me know in the comments if you want me to go deep in the situation around Real Madrid. Let me know also if you want maybe a video rebuilding this Real Madrid team again and again, and I'll hear you for. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you like this video, which are more raw versions without edits, let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.